Most gardeners plant for spring. A handful plant for summer. Almost nobody thinks about September. These 16 perennials start blooming before summer peaks, and they don't stop until the first frost comes to shut them down. Some of them will still have colour on their stems while your neighbours are raking dead leaves. And here's the part that matters most for this channel. Every single one of them is low effort. You plant them once, and they just go. Welcome to DePlant Studio, where we grow beautifully without burning out doing it. Today we're talking about bloom time, specifically the plants that give you the longest return on your investment. Not just a few weeks of colour in May and then silence. We're talking about plants that bloom from late spring or early summer and keep going deep into fall. Some of these are still putting on a show in October. If you're new here and you want plants that earn their place without asking a lot of you, hit subscribe. That's exactly what this channel is built for. Plant 1. Chenautia macedonica. Crimson Scabiosa. Let's start with something that's going to stop you in your tracks. Chenautia macedonica is a European wildflower that most gardeners in the US have never heard of. And that's a shame, because it blooms from June all the way through hard frost, produces hundreds of small crimson pincushion flowers on wiry branching stems, and it does all of this with almost no help from you. The colour is a deep, saturated burgundy red that photographs beautifully and works with almost everything else in the garden. Plant it near silvery foliage or soft lavenders and it absolutely sings. It self-seeds gently, not aggressively, so over time it naturalizes into drifts without becoming a problem. Drought tolerant once established. Full sun. Zones 5 through 9. Plant 2. Helenium, Moorheim, Beauty. Sneezeweed. Don't let the name put you off. Helenium has nothing to do with sneezing. The old name came from a Native American use of the dried leaves, and it stuck. What you're actually looking at is one of the most richly coloured perennials available for late summer and fall. Moorheim Beauty opens in July with flowers in deep amber, copper and mahogany. The colours of an October afternoon before the leaves have even turned. It blooms through September and sometimes into October. It likes moisture and full sun, which makes it ideal for rain garden edges or low spots. Deadhead a little to extend the flush. Zones 3 through 8, genuinely cold hardy. Plant 3, Rudbeckia fulgida goldsturm, black-eyed Susan. This one people know, but they don't always know just how long it actually blooms. Goldsturm opens in July and doesn't stop until frost. 2 to 3 full months of golden yellow daisies with dark centres, covering plants that spread slowly into dense weed-suppressing clumps. Leave the seed heads standing in fall and winter, and the birds will thank you. It's one of the most reliable perennials ever bred. Drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, thrives in poor soil, minimal deadheading needed. If you plant only one thing from this list, plant this one. Zones 3 through 9. Plant 4. Echinacea purpurea hybrids, coneflower. Coneflowers have been around forever, but the newer hybrid varieties, especially the ones bred for dual-toned colours like Magnus, Cheyenne Spirit or Sombrero Adobe Orange, are a completely different visual experience from the old straight species. Bloom time runs from June through September. The flowers attract every pollinator you've ever wanted in a garden, and the seed heads carry through winter as bird food and architectural interest. Extremely drought-tolerant once established. Some varieties are more reliably perennial than others. Stick with purpurea types for the best long-term performance. Full sun. Well-drained soil, zones 3 to 9. Plant 5. Nepeta Walker's Low, Catmint. If you want a plant that blooms for a genuinely absurd length of time with almost zero effort, Nepeta Walker's Low is it. It flowers in late May, and if you cut it back hard after that first flush, just shear it down by about half, it comes roaring back for a second round in August and keeps going until frost. In mild years, 3 rounds. The flowers are soft lavender blue, the foliage is a cool grey-green, and the whole plant has a relaxed, billowing quality that softens edges and fills gaps beautifully. It's drought-tolerant, dear, resistant, and pollinators absolutely mob it. Zones 4 through 8. Plant 6. Agastache, Blue Fortune, a nice hyssop. Agastache is one of those plants that looks like it belongs in a cutting garden, but it's tough enough for the hottest, driest corner of your yard. Blue Fortune produces tall spikes of violet blue flowers from July through frost. The foliage smells lightly of anise. Hummingbirds find it magnetic. Bees and butterflies follow close behind. It's one of the most heat and drought-tolerant perennials in this entire list. Once established, it wants almost nothing from you. Full sun, lean to average soil, excellent drainage. Zones 5 through 9. Plant 7. Gaura lindheimeri, whirling butterflies. Gaura is one of those plants that looks delicate, but is actually iron tough. From May through the first hard frost, sometimes 5 full months, it sends up tall, airy wands of small white or pink flowers that flutter in the slightest breeze. The effect is exactly what the common name promises, like a cloud of small butterflies hovering above the foliage. It's drought-tolerant to an almost ridiculous degree. Tap-rooted. So once it's in, it's in. It dislikes wet, heavy soils, but thrives in hot, dry conditions that would destroy other plants. Full sun, well-drained soil, zones 5 through 9. Plant 8. Salvia nemorosa, woodland sage. Salvia nemorosa starts blooming in May, sometimes late April in warmer zones, and with deadheading or a midsummer cutback, it reblooms reliably through fall. The flower spikes are a rich violet blue that shows up clearly from a distance. The plant is compact, tidy, and easy to work around. Caradonna is a standout variety. Deep purple flowers on near black stems, one of the most elegant combinations in the perennial world. Full sun, tolerates drought once established, minimal pest and disease pressure. Deer tend to leave it alone. Zones 4 through 8. Plant 9. Scabiosa columbaria, butterfly blue, pincushion flower, Scabiosa butterfly blue, is one of the longest blooming perennials you can grow. Full stop. From June through October, sometimes longer, it produces an almost continuous stream of soft lavender blue pincushion flowers on slender stems. It's gentle and airy, the kind of plant that makes everything around it look better. Butterflies in particular are drawn to it constantly throughout the season. Remove spent flowers regularly and it just keeps producing. Full sun, average to dry soil, excellent drainage. Zones 3 through 9. Plant 10. Gaillardia, Arizona sun. Blanket flower. Gaillardia is built for heat. It blooms from June through frost, producing bold, two-toned flowers in reds, oranges and yellows that look like something from the American Southwest, because that's where this plant is from. Arizona sun is a compact, front-of-border version that stays low and dense while pumping out flowers non-stop. It wants heat, wants lean soil, wants to be left alone. Rich, moist soil actually shortens its life. One of the best choices for hot, dry gardens where other plants struggle. Full sun, well-drained to dry soil. Zones 3 through 10. Plant 11. Veronica spicata, spike speedwell. Veronica adds something most summer gardens are missing: vertical spikes of intense colour. The flowers are typically a bright blue-purple, one of the truest blues available in the perennial world, and they bloom from June through August. Cut them back after the first flush and they'll often rebloom in September. Varieties like Royal Candles and Goodness Grows are particularly reliable reblooming performers. It's tidy, compact, and works beautifully in combination with rounded or daisy-form flowers. Full sun, well-drained soil, zones 3 through 8. Plant 12. Liatris spicata, blazing star/gayfeather. Liatris is one of the most architecturally striking natives on this list. The tall, dense spikes of reddish-purple flowers bloom from July through September, and they bloom from the top down, which is unusual and eye-catching. The seed heads that follow are feathery and attractive, and goldfinches will visit the plants repeatedly through fall to feed on them. Plant it in groups for maximum visual impact, grows from a corm, so it establishes quickly and comes back reliably year after year. Full sun, average to dry soil, extremely cold-hardy. Zones 3 through 9. Plant 13, Phlox paniculata, garden phlox. Garden phlox is a midsummer showstopper. The tall, dome-shaped flower clusters bloom from July through September in shades of white, pink, lavender, red and bicolour, and they're fragrant, genuinely, beautifully fragrant on a warm evening. The one thing to know, phlox can be susceptible to powdery mildew in humid conditions. Choose mildew-resistant varieties, David for white, Gianna for soft pink, and give them good air circulation. That handles most of the problem. Full sun to light shade, average moisture. One of the few perennials on this list that appreciate some water. Zones 4 through 8. Plant 14. Penstemon digitalis, beard tongue. Penstemon is an underused native that deserves far more attention. The species blooms in May and June with tall, open spikes of tubular white flowers. Hummingbirds can't leave them alone. Husker red is the standout variety, with bronzed red foliage that gives the plant a second season of interest long after the flowers are done. The foliage turns deep burgundy in fall. Once established, it's extremely drought-tolerant and long-lived. It doesn't need deadheading, and it doesn't need dividing. Full sun to light shade, well-drained soil. Zones 3 through 9. Plant 15, Sedum autumn joy. Stonecrop. Sedum autumn joy is a four-season plant disguised as a late-blooming perennial. The succulent blue-green foliage looks good all summer. The flat-topped flower heads emerge in late summer as pale pink, deepen to dusty rose through September and October, and then turn to rich coppery bronze as frost approaches. Staying attractive through most of winter are structural seed heads. It's drought-tolerant, long-lived, requires no deadheading, and butterflies flock to the fall bloom. Full sun, well-drained soil, it dislikes wet feet. Zones 3 through 9. One of the true workhorses of the low-maintenance garden. Plant 16, Aster purple dome, New England aster. We're ending with one of the most important plants in the fall garden. Purple dome is a compact New England aster that blooms from August through October, sometimes into November. When most of the garden is winding down, this plant is at its absolute peak, covered in vivid violet-purple daisies with golden centres. It's a critical late-season food source for migrating monarchs and other pollinators making their way south. Planting it isn't just good for your garden, it's good for the broader ecosystem. Full sun, average moisture. Divide every few years to keep it vigorous. Zones 3 through 8. The perfect plant to close out the season. Here's the thing about all 16 of these plants. None of them require a lot from you. You plant them once, in the right spot, and they handle the rest. The real trick is layering them by bloom time. Mix your early starters, the Salvia, the Catmint, the Penstemon, with your midsummer heavy hitters like the Rudbeckia, Echinacea, and Canautia. Then anchor the back end with the asters, sedums, and heleniums. Done right, you'll have colour from May all the way until the first hard frost shuts everything down. That's a garden that works for you, not the other way around. Which one of these surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I'm always curious which plants people haven't heard of before. If you want more plants that earn their space without asking much in return, the Perennials video is right there. I'll link it for you. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.